Hello, hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to TribeMomma Talks, where I talk and you listen because sometimes we just need someone to fill the silence. On this channel, I will be going over stories, things from Reddit, anything that tickles my fancy, while you go about your day with the dulcet tone of my voice in your ears. So get yourself a drink, curl up, hey, sit down and do some chores, whatever you like, while we go over today's stories. Today, I decided to look at Reddit's Am I Overreacting? This hits close to home because I'm a very dramatic and emotional person on the inside, but I have a very calm facade on the outside. Our first story was posted about 10 hours ago by Bluebird Front. It says, Am I overreacting for getting pissed that my boyfriend forgot my birthday but remembered his coworkers? Ooh, I can already imagine this is going to have the comments on fire. So yeah, I'm female 22, and my birthday was literally last week. I wasn't expecting fireworks or a trip to Paris. Like, I'm super low maintenance. I just wanted a hey, happy birthday, and maybe dinner together. He's male 27 and usually pretty thoughtful, so I wasn't worried. Except he never said anything the entire day. We hung out, ate lunch, watched a movie, and he didn't realize until midnight when my mom called me. And even then, he tried to play it off like, oh my God, babe, I'm so stressed lately. Fine, whatever. I tried not to make it a big deal, even though inside I felt like crap all day. Yeah, I can imagine if you are hoping people will remember, it's going to make you feel bad when they totally don't, especially, a significant other. 16 candles all over again right there. Then 2 days later, he comes home all excited, talking about how it's his coworker Sarah's birthday tomorrow, and he's helping plan a small surprise at the office. And I'm just sitting on the couch like, dude, are you serious right now? You remembered her birthday, but not mine? He even bought her a little gift, a plant because she likes plants apparently. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to sound jealous, but not gonna lie, I felt super hurt. Now I keep thinking about it and feel like maybe I didn't take it seriously enough. Am I overreacting? Or is forgetting your partner's birthday and remembering a coworker's actually kind of messed up? Whoo, okay. I'll be the first to say, I don't really care about my birthday personally. I barely remember it unless I get Facebook notifications from everybody reminding me I'm a year older. It's not that important to me, but I would certainly be quite upset if someone special to me didn't remember it, but remembered an acquaintance's birthday. Like, wait, why? Why are you? If you forget my birthday, fine. I'm not going to throw a fit. But an acquaintance from the office, that's who you remembered? That's who you're jazzed about? Hmm. I wouldn't take, I would be pretty upset about that actually. As someone who doesn't even care about my birthday, I'd be pretty upset about that, to be perfectly honest. Let's look at these comments. Not overreacting. You have to tell him this isn't about jealousy. Ask him why he was super excited about Sarah's birthday but totally forgot yours. And someone commented under that, you can't keep this to yourself. Let him know how he made you feel. There is nothing wrong with telling a person how their actions affect you. If they respect you, they'll listen and make the effort to change. If they don't have any respect, well, insert generic denials here. Yeah, I mean, you got to talk to him about that. Maybe there's a reason. There could be a reason why yours slipped by without him thinking. You guys didn't plan anything. Some people need that extra drive. Maybe Sarah's has stood out. This is me just playing devil's advocate. I don't know these people, so I want to give the benefit of the doubt. But maybe he got excited about Sarah's because they were planning to do something for it in the office and he felt included, maybe. But come on. I feel like, okay, let's just put it this way. If I forgot my boyfriend's birthday, which is very realistic, because as I said, I don't even remember mine, but let's say I forgot his, and then I start making a big fuss about some random person at the workplace's birthday and how I'm going to do something for it, I would at least have sense enough not to inform him that, because I'd have the self-awareness like, ooh, that sounds kind of messed up. I totally forgot his and I have to make up for that. I'm not going to tell him how excited I am about some random person at work's birthday. That is something I would keep to myself just because, I have feelings and I care about his. And I would imagine maybe he wouldn't like hearing that. That's just where I'm coming from. Let's see, what other comments have we got? Not overreacting. Forgetting your birthday but remembering a coworker's is hurtful and totally understandable to be upset about. Okay. My partner forgets my birthday every year, but he also forgets everyone else's birthday too. Balance. Yeah, exactly. Not overreacting, OP. Try to talk about it with him. His reaction will help you decide if it was an innocent mistake or if you just aren't a priority to him. Yeah, that's also important. Things come up, things get in the way, important things that we should remember. What if he really is stressed and that's why this day slipped by and he feels guilty? And sometimes people lash out when they feel guilty rather than just owning up. But you definitely need to talk to him, and you're not overacting for being upset about this. It's totally fair to be upset because this is weird. If you commented on being low maintenance, which I too can relate to that. And the thing is, sometimes when you have a low maintenance partner, some people, not all, will start taking you for granted and realize they don't have to put as much effort into you because you're so low key and you don't expect much or ask for much, and that's never good. So yeah, talk to your boyfriend. um it'd be one thing if he just forgot, but it's him being excited about the coworker's birthday that's just not sanguine, and it makes you feel like garbage. You already felt bad because he forgot your birthday, but he could have made up for that. Like, I'm so sorry, let's do this, and do something special to make up for it, because people don't always remember this stuff. Everybody has a birthday. Every day is someone's birthday. And we're grown people. And again, if you don't make it known to your partner that it's super important to you, that you like acknowledgement on that day, some people will let that slide and think, I mean, but it's the coworker. It's the coworker's birthday he's all excited about. That's where I would get butthurt. I'd be like, wait, what? So yeah, I agree. You are not overreacting. Someone says, I don't understand this. We all carry around computers with calendars in our pockets. It takes zero effort to set a recurring event for someone's birthday. That is true, but I will speak as somebody who's still really bad with that. Even with my calendars and timers, I still forget so much all the time. I am completely out of RAM. So yeah, OP, talk to your boo thing and see, you know, if this was an innocent mistake, and cause this is definitely workable. Let's not immediately assume that there's something else going on. Okay? All right. Okay, our next story feels like it might be a little triggering for some of us in the audience. This was posted about 20 hours ago by Tega Bears? Tega Bears 21? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Am I overreacting to husbands talking about their wives' bodies after childbirth? All right. My friend told me something that honestly made me feel ill. She said her husband's friends, mind you, they're not even that close, were talking in a group about childbirth, and they started discussing which birthing methods they don't recommend because apparently some husbands said their wives' hoo-haws became loose after giving birth. It's not the same as before, and that the sex wasn't enjoyable anymore. I wasn't even there, but hearing about it made me feel disgusted and uncomfortable. I just kept thinking, how can a husband talk about this? Not only to the wife, but also talk about his wife's body like that to other people in front of his wife. Yeah, I just straight up, no. This would be a no-go for me. Knew my partner would not get away with us. I feel really hurt on behalf of those wives. And another part of me wonders if I'm taking it too personally, even though it wasn't about me. It just feels so disrespectful and degrading. It's because it is disrespectful and degrading, and you're internalizing that. Am I overreacting by being upset about this? Or is this actually something normal to talk about between married couples circles? Okay, we have a couple edits. The first one, edit one, they said they don't recommend the C-section because in their logic, the hoo-ha will go back to normal after natural birth, but not after a C-section. I beg your finest pardon? And the second edit, their logic. When a woman is pregnant, her hoo-ha loosens for birth. If she gives birth naturally, it'll go back to normal. But if she has a C-section, it doesn't know the baby's out, so it stays loose. Oh my gosh. Okay, I am not a biology major, but I am confident that's not how this works. Okay. Oh my word. Oh, let's go to the comments first because, as I said, this is a little triggering right here. I'm a mom of two, and if I had ever heard their father talk about it, ooh, let's just say we wouldn't be joint parenting right now. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the comments. Not overreacting. It makes me so sick that as a woman, we have always been viewed, and in many ways still are, as pleasure objects for men. Example from my life was after years of painful and uncomfortable sex in my 20s, I finally got up the courage to ask my male gynecologist what to do about my insanely tight pelvic floor, hoo-ha, and instead of listening to my concerns and recommending pelvic floor therapy, he simply said, "Hey, that's a good problem to have. I'm sure your husband is happy." Oh, oh, that's disgusting. What? I went to my car after feeling disgusting and cried. Absolutely. That is absolutely disgusting. What the I mean, it is unfortunate that many women's medical issues are not taken seriously. Oh, but what? Someone commented under that same exact conversation and circumstances, except my gyno said, well, some women find a little discomfort enjoyable. I'm sure they do, but she clearly didn't because that's why she's bringing it to your attention, you sack of gosa. That was about 30 years ago, and my ears still turn red with rage when I think about it. Oh, that is. What? Yeah, someone said you should have kicked the male gyno and the family jewels. What an unprofessional thing to say to a patient. Yeah, that is. Ugh. Let's see. What else have we got? None of them know how hoo-haws work and are just being stupid and disrespectful. I personally wouldn't sit there and listen to my husband talk about my hoo-ha like this, or at all in public. If he has things he needs to share about it with me, he can do so with me at home, in private. Edited to add, not overreacting. Also, this would be something good to discuss with your husband to let him know how you'd feel. Yeah, I think maybe, I mean, if the OP did not state whether female or married or anything like that, but if that's an easy thing to internalize because you're like, oh my gosh, if this is how these men are talking about their wives, would mine do the same? Would he think is this normal? Because I'm not cool with that. Not overreacting. Men should never feel as though they have a say on this topic. It's the woman's body. She's the only one who's allowed an opinion aside from her doctor. Acting like acting like your coffee stirrer should be the primary consideration instead of the health of your wife and child is just so utterly repulsive. Also, this isn't discussed enough, but men's coffee stirrers often get smaller as they age due to lowering testosterone levels, circulatory and vascular issues impacting blood flow, plus weight gain, reducing length from the base. I wish I'd been there to add that to the conversation. Oh, yeah. Not overreacting. That's gross and embarrassing. And I don't know if I've ever known a woman thinking, oh, I better get a dangerous invasive surgery where they literally remove my guts so my vajayjay stays nice and tight. If that matters to a guy, then they can stay childless. And for the record, I've asked my husband to tell me if it changed. He said no. Also, I'm convinced that the guys that need a death grip dry sex are too used to jacking off. Yeah, probably. So clearly, just she is not overreacting. That was a disgusting thing to even hear that some men are talking about, and like, ugh. Not overreacting. I'm a trans man, so I get to hear so many men's unfiltered thoughts, unfortunately. I have learned that many men have no idea how vajayjays work. I've also learned how many men just straight up diss their partner in front of their friends, only to swoon and cherish that same woman to her face. It's sick. And yeah, it's very upsetting to hear, even in passing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is. Oh, I would. Yeah, I'd be really pissed. I'd be like, why? I'd be mad to hear the conversation after because I'd want to have been there so I could have roundhouse kicked somebody. Oh, I didn't like that one. I don't know about you. I didn't like that one. Let's move on. Unfortunately, I don't know if this one's going to be any less triggering. I knew how to pick them today, didn't I? Okay. This was posted about 20 hours ago by Mary Needs Answers. Am I overreacting? Husband knocked me over. I hit my head and he claims it's my fault. Okay, let's see. Recently, my husband has been under a lot of stress and he has chosen to deal with it by binge drinking 5 to 6 nights a week. He works out of a home office that is quite small, and when he finishes dinner, he returns to his office for several hours from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. During this time, he binge drinks wine and prosecco, followed by at least 6 to 7 shots of vodka mixed in vodka coolers. He then moves on to more wine. What? How is he alive? That's a ridiculous amount to be drinking on a nightly basis. He will continue drinking until he passes out. This behavior has driven me insane because he refuses to speak to me. He refuses to even try a little to make things better. And this has gone on for 4 months. Last Saturday, I hid some of his alcohol and he went ballistic on me. I was sleeping in bed and he barged in screaming at me around midnight. I tried to keep him out of the room by putting my weight against the door, but he is twice my size, and he pushed so hard that I fell over and knocked my head against the dresser. My nose was bleeding profusely, and I sat on the floor sobbing. He continued to yell at me and would stop at nothing to find his alcohol. Oh, girl, him knocking you over is like the least of your problems right now. When I called him out on this a few days later, he told me that it was my fault and that I was obviously looking for a reaction, so he gave me one. When he told me that, I broke down again because he made me feel like I was worth absolutely nothing to him. I am now at the point where I would like to file for separation ASAP. Am I overreacting or is this textbook abusive behavior? Okay. This is one of those things where I'm like, did you really need to come here to find out if you were overreacting? There are just some abuses that are so obvious. I do not think you need Reddit to tell you that this man has problems. The very fact that he's doing this every night, and that when he can't find the alcohol, he flies into a rage. Babe, you don't need us to tell you that he's got problems. In fact, I think you're underreacting, to be honest, that this is where you are and you're asking Reddit? You're looking for validation from us? Sweetheart, get out of there. This is dangerous. Oh, my goodness. All right. I wish we had more information. Like, what was he like before the drinking? What is causing the stress? Like, yeesh. What was the nature of your relationship before alcohol just basically soaked all his internal organs? All right, let's go to the comments because I'm getting a little heated. This one on top of the last one. Oh, he is an alcoholic. Unless he stops drinking, his behavior will not change at all. File for separation. Someone else said this, and on top of it, even sober, he's an a-hole. Usually someone would at least apologize, but he doesn't. From someone that just left a 13-year relationship with an alcoholic, do it now rather than later. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, once he sobered up and she brought it to his attention what had happened, he didn't even apologize. He didn't even care that she had been physically harmed while he was hulking out over booze. Like, come on. Let's see. Someone said, my uncle was an alcoholic. He could quit for months at a time, but always went back. He was a dry drunk, not really sober. Husband will never change. OP, please leave and don't look back. The man hurt you to get booze. That's what he loves. There is no salvaging this marriage. Save yourself before he unalives you. Yeah, I mean, this man physically harmed you over alcohol. There was nothing else to upset him. It's just that he couldn't get to it, and you need to get away from him. Someone said, oh, I disagree. His drinking behavior will change. It will continue to get worse. This is the way with addiction and abuse. Oh my goodness. I am saying this softly and in no way being mean. Your husband is an alcoholic, one who doesn't want to get better, one who is abusive, and that abuse will escalate. In his drunken state, he may unalive you and not even know he's doing it because he's that drunk. Separate. Seriously. Not overreacting. Yeah. Not overreacting. Ditch him yesterday. There's no valid excuse for this behavior. Please get out. Somebody said, I can't believe these comments. Your husband is a violent alcoholic. You did nothing wrong. I don't know who she was responding to because I haven't seen a single comment defending this man's behavior. Yeah, someone actually said that right under, like, what comments? Like, um, not overreacting. And honestly, you are underreacting. He has demonstrated that he can and will hurt you without remorse or regret if you dare to get between him and his alcohol. That's a very dangerous spot to be in because someone that got to his addiction will not stop. Someone that gone to his addiction will not stop, nor is he capable of being rational and accountable about it at this time. No matter how good your marriage was before, now it's no longer safe for you. And God forbid, any children that may be in the home. I hope you will get professional help to understand the reality of life with an addict and make steps get to either get him or you out of the house for your own safety. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're underreacting if this is happening and you're coming to Reddit for validation. Like, sweetie, get out of there as safely as possible. Please be careful. Oh my word. I feel like I need something light, a nice light overreacting. Let's see what I can find because this is heavier than I anticipated. Okay, here's a little family drama, but it doesn't seem to be too heavy. This was 4 hours ago by Bloody is Buddy. Am I overreacting? My grandparents asked my siblings and I to chip in $25 to get a present for my mom's birthday. All right. My grandma told me about this a couple days ago. She said that she had already spoken to my siblings about it, but didn't say what they thought. She wants us all to pitch in $25 to get a present for my mom's birthday, and she said she would cover the difference. Her example was if we got a $100 gift, we'd all put in $25. She said if I needed some money, then I could work at my dad's business. We have visited this idea a couple times in general, but I'll get more into it in a little. Now, here's where I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't have a job, can't legally get a job because of my age other than at my dad's business, obviously. Except he's such an ass. My mental health has been horrible because of him the past few years, and I purposely go out of my way to stay away from him when I can. I go to bed early, walk the dog when he gets home, etc. He just complains about everything. Nothing is ever enough, and he puts little to no effort into my mom or house chores. So I don't love the idea of being in a confined space for him to boss me around. He also jokes about ridiculously low payment and will take forever to actually pay me when I do work. For more context, the past couple of years, he has forgotten or been too busy to get my mom gifts for Christmas or her birthday, even when we send them weeks in advance. She always buys him gifts, even if he doesn't act appreciative of them. Last Christmas, he was throwing a fit and refused to open his presents because he didn't have anything to give her, despite me sending an entire list of things 3 weeks in advance. Wait, he threw a temper tantrum because he didn't have a present for her? Okay. Oh, and my grandma isn't much better with him than him in either way. Oh my goodness. Oh, sounds like a fun family dynamic. Anyways, I don't think it's fair to ask me to put in money when I don't have any to give. I don't understand why the two of them, my grandma and dad, can't get her a present. My mom has never asked us to pitch in anything for a present for him, and it's not like we're getting a $700 gift. I don't know how to bring this up, considering my mom is the one we talk to when our dad is acting stupid. Sorry for the long read. Okay, it sounds like you're young. I mean, you can't legally get a job, and I'm thinking of where I live. You can get a worker's permit at age 15, so you got to be younger than that. And I know there are places in the country that have literally lowered the working age to, be child slave labor. So you must be very young. It's very weird to me that your grandmother would ask you to pitch in. That's a chunk of change when you're a kid with no money. $25 is a lot, when you're a teenager. Especially if you're a teenager who doesn't have a job. Like, where's these? And to be just like, oh, you can just work with your dad, who is notorious about paying low wages and doesn't actually pay you in time. Um, oh, sweetie, this just sounds really lousy. Let's see what kind of advice you got coming in the comments. If you're too young to have a job, it makes sense that you would have nothing to contribute, especially since you feel unsafe working with your father and he doesn't pay you fairly regardless. Just say that you're making her a gift or finding one on your own. You are not obligated to contribute to their gift. Not overreacting. Good luck. Stay safe. Yeah, exactly. I would just be like, I can't contribute to this gift, so I'll find something I can make for my mother on my own, and you don't, I just won't take credit for the gift you get her. Also, can you talk to your siblings? Like, you mentioned that your grandmother asked them, but she didn't say what their answer was. Do you have a decent relationship with them? Talk to your siblings if you have that kind of relationship, because that might also help, you know. Uh if you're not working, you don't have money to put into to a gift, so you shouldn't be expected to contribute. Not overreacting, but if you wanted to do something nice, maybe cook her a meal or bake her something out of items that are already in the kitchen. Exactly. There are so many ways that you can celebrate your mother without it being monetary, so that you can also celebrate your mom without being a part of this present. Some people, that's how they feel. That's how they show love. They buy gifts, and other people appreciate acts of service. And I can speak as a mother. I love acts of service from my children, and I would never expect my kids to whip out cash to buy me something. They're my babies. Someone said, "It sounds like mom is never celebrated, to be honest. I would find a side hustle, like walking other people's dogs for some little cash to give a little gift to your mom just from you. The effort and intention will mean much more than the actual gift." Yeah, 100%. She'll love that. And someone else said, "Your grandma and dad can handle this themselves. It's weird they're making you put in money when you literally can't. Just tell your mom straight up, I can't afford it and working with dad's not an option. She'll get it." Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's just really weird that the grandmother would even come to the grandchildren for this. And something tells me it's because the dad doesn't want to put any effort into his wife's gifts. It sounds like they're still married and they're all still living together. That grandma literally thought in order to get this woman a gift, she can't depend on this woman's husband to do it. So she's got to go to the grandchildren for money to get this woman a gift. Like that's a messy dynamic. You got a man child over here, and it's like the children are expected to pay for their mother's present. And the OP even commented that when mom buys dad presents, she doesn't ask for anyone's help. She just gets the guy a present. Ugh, yucky. Yucky, yucky, sweetheart. Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, I think the best are the ones where they suggested that you find a way to show your appreciation to your mother for this present on your own. That doesn't even have to involve money. Just tell your grandmother, I can't afford that. I'm not working with dad. I'm going to do something special for mom on my own. I don't know how well that'll go because, again, this is a grandmother who thought it was acceptable to ask her grandchildren to pay for their mother's gift rather than the husband uh, to ask a grandchild that can't even legally have a job and clearly has no money. What is wrong with these people? Oh, I don't know. And that was as light as I could find. So, well, this was a heavier group of stories than I was expecting, but I do hope you enjoyed sitting and listening with me while I chatted and shared. Maybe you got to take a nap or do some dishes, fold some laundry, or just have a nice quiet drink while you played games on your phone. And hopefully, you'll come back to spend time with me again in the future. So, have a lovely day. Goodbye. Drink water. Make smart choices. Mwah.